Why Peer Gynt? Peer Gynt for me was the first meeting that I had with an Ibsen text. I was 16, 17 years old, and it's sort of it's a play that's with you your entire life. I've done a Peer Gynt outdoors for 3 hours where the sun comes down and the sea was getting darker, and it was like full music and orchestra and everything. And then I do it like this, alone on a chair. And I feel that every time I do it or I present it to someone, the play changes every time you. And I found it difficult to read Peer Gynt when I was in school. But by doing it and playing it, and I had this wonderful teacher in sort of a youth drama school when I was younger, who'd played The Woman in Green at the National Theatre way back, and with people who used to, you know, even know Ibsen before he died. And so she knew everything, and she said that young people shouldn't get to know Peer Gynt from the very beginning of. And it's because it's about it's a young boy who is full of imagination, has big dreams, and he goes through life without a care. And so it's a journey through man's life from when he's young until he's very old, and it moves me, and it moves an audience in a way that it hits you where you are in life at the moment. If you're young, then it hits you there. If you're older, then it hits you, and so I think to me, it's maybe, well, at least one of his best, but maybe the best play, because it has everything about who we are as human beings, how we lie to ourselves and how we lie to others, and how we struggle in life by sort of finding meaning, or choosing not to find meaning, just, you know, moving along. What does it mean to be yourself? I mean, that's the essence of Peer Gynt. What is being yourself? What does that mean? And at the end of Peer's life, he's being told that, you know, you can only be yourself the minute you stop thinking about yourself and be something for others. Doing this one-man show, you come in with the essence. You come with the essence of Peer Gynt, and you just tell, this is the story in 1 hour, and it's easier. And I've done a children's book on Peer Gynt as well. That's now being translated into different countries and different languages, which is also the essence of Peer Gynt, the way I see it. One man doesn't care throughout his life, and then at the end he's being faced, being confronted by, you know, have you done anything? Have you made any choices at all? Who are you? Turns out he's not good enough to go to heaven, he's not bad enough to go to hell, and he's going to be melted into something new, which is better. Just with all the trash in the world being melted together and made something new. He realizes, I need to fight for my life, fight for my own existence. Yeah. And I think young people can recognize that, and I think, yeah, middle-aged and really old, what does it mean to be a human being? Yeah. It's a well-written play. The evening is me on a chair, addressing the audience, talking to the audience, speaking. Not that they have to answer back, but it's me on a chair, a bit of light, a bit of music, but mostly just me telling the story of Peer Gynt in the way that I find it interesting. I'll be jumping in and out of soliloquies, texts, sometimes in English and sometimes in Norwegian, so you can get the flavour of how Ibsen wrote it in rhyme. And then I'm using the translation of Peter Watts, which is a wonderful translation, but not in rhyme. So it'll be me on a chair for 1 hour and 7 minutes, addressing the audience. You know, if there's a cough, I might pick it up, or if there's a phone ringing, I might, you know, even grab the phone. I won't do that, but still do the rest of the play to someone on the phone. No. But I mean, it's a vibrant, it's sort of it's me and the audience, and it's never the same. Never the same. I love when I can talk to the audience and suddenly, without them knowing, then I'm in the middle of Ibsen's text. And I know the text of Peer Gynt so well now, because I've done it in so many different versions, that it's sort of I speak with my own words, and then when I get to the essence of what I want to say, then Ibsen takes over. So it's sort of a seamless transition between speaking and going into Ibsen's text, and then suddenly breaking out of it again and addressing the audience or telling the story, which I like, because if I were to say now we're starting with the text, then people might get bored. But it's a seamless way of telling the story, so you won't sometimes realize that I'm actually now halfway in Ibsen's text, and then suddenly I'm myself again. Yeah, I feel there are so many layers of Peer Gynt that I recognize in myself. Some layers that I don't like, and some layers that I do like. You know? So, but I've always found that if I can tell to a young person or to any audience member what this Ibsen text is about, and make it become something with relevance to their life now, then that's what I'm trying to achieve. Not that I'm going to go out and say this is important because you, but just making it as real and genuine as possible with that audience who's there for that particular evening. I'm always worried that people are going to go, oh, we're going to see Peer Gynt tonight, and they think they're coming in when there's going to be a lot of forests and a lot of trolls and everything, and the big sort of play. But people are always, I mean, some people have said that, several people that I met said in the UK sometimes Peer Gynt is difficult to put on the stage because it's so huge and it's so vast. How are we going to do it? So I'm hoping no one's disappointed that it's only me in a chair. But that's, I love telling that story, and maybe that makes it easier. And we'll just pretend together, we'll see all the trolls. But it's, hopefully it's received well. When I did it the first time in English many, many years ago, I was younger. Now there's more that's happened in life, and that gives another layer. So I'm looking forward to doing it, really, very much, meeting the English audience. The sensation, the feeling of being the Coronet, it's always very special. But I've always been there with my company, with the Norwegian Ibsen Company, with productions. And sometimes I try not to be in the production because it's about Ibsen and it's not about me, and it's about the company. So I'm a bit frightened about coming alone, I have to say, because I never wanted to be about anything else but Ibsen's texts and how to do it the best. And now I'm sort of coming saying I'm going to tell you the entire Peer Gynt on my own. When I did this the first time in English, it was at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and for many, many reasons, no one knew I was there. And that's how the Norwegian Ibsen Company sort of started. So it was me at some point, one point, I think it was the second performance, it was me and one audience member sitting there. And I asked the front of house, I said, is there anyone in? And they said, well, there's one. And I said, has he paid? And said, yes. So I went in and I looked at him and I went like, are you ready for this? And he said, yeah. And I said, are you Norwegian or are you white? No, I'm from London. I said, yeah. Do you know Peer Gynt then? No. I said, okay, well, now you shall have it. So it was him and me for 1 hour and 6 minutes.